Hello everyone, my name is Jhonatan Ortiz. I am a student of Electromechanical Engineering at the UPTC Duitama sectional. This presentation will be about the static electricity and the atom composition. I hope that my presentation is clear and easy to understand. Then let's get started with the main idea. What is electricity? Electricity is a form of energy or a flow of electrons. We know that the matter is made up of atoms, and the atom has a center called nucleus. The nucleus contains a positively charged particles called protons and uncharged particles called neutrons. Outside the nucleus, the atom is surrounded by layers or orbits. These orbits depend on the chemical elements. The electronic layer contains the electrons. Uh, I know I called it orbit, but the electronic layer is the scientific term. Back to the topic. The electrons contains the negative charge, are the responsibles of the electric energy because the electrons move to other atoms repeatedly. Well, after introducing us of the topic of electricity, uh, have you wondered the following questions? Keep them on your mind. What is the static electricity? This is the result of an imbalance of electrons flow between objects. It is called static because the displaced electrons tends to remain stationary after being moved from one insulating material to another. As you can see in the pictures, these are two examples of static electricity. On the left is a Van de Graaff generator that transmits its charges to the girl who touched it. And now having the same charges repel each other. On the right is a friction charged can that attracts bits of paper because they have the same charges. To understand better the subject, I'm going to talk to you about the beginnings of the static electricity. Its discovery dates back to 600 before Christ by Thales of Mileto, uh, who rubbed a piece of amber. In Greek, it's called electron. After rubbing it, acquired the ability to attract small objects, but Benjamin Franklin uh, was who gave the name to charges, thanks to his experiment with the wax and the wool. Later in 1832, Michael Faraday discovered that static electricity was the same as that produced by the battery or a generator. It wasn't until 1939 that Robert J. Van de Graaff uh, developed a static electricity generator. A static electricity example. After being rubbed, a plastic roller can attract paper scraps. A roller carries electric charge. It exerts electric force on a paper. This charging method is called charging by friction. Where do charges come from? If the number of electrons is equal to the number of protons, the charges is said to be neutral. If the number of electrons is bigger than the number of protons, the charge is said to be negative because there is an electron gain. If the number of electrons is smaller than the number of protons, the charge is said to be positive because there is an electron losing. To explain the example of the balloon and the wool, when you rub the balloon against a piece of wool, electrons are pulled from the wool to the balloon. The balloon has more electrons than usual, so the balloon charging is negative and the wool charging is positive. Rubbing material doesn't create electric charge. Uh, it just transfers electrons from one material to the other. Well, there are two kinds of charges, or two ways to statically charge an object. The first is induced charge, and the second is the conducing charging. In the case of the induced charge, charged and neutral objects are attracted because electrons moves in the neutral object and not touching. Electrons move toward a positive charge uh, object and away from a negative charge one. This is called induced charge. The second one is conduction charging. The conduction is the direct transfer of charge. It means that the objects touch each other. For example, electrons are straight from the carpet and we gain a negative charge. Or when you touch the doorknob, electrons jump into it. This phenomenon is called electrical discharge because you transfer your electrons to the doorknob. Thanks for watching. I hope you like it, and please don't forget to subscribe. And see you later.